Mono and Digital, we help businesses navigate the digital landscape. We recognize that it is crazy out there. So many channels, so many platforms, so many things to think about while managing the day-to-day operations of your business. We provide you with actionable solutions to market your business online and achieve your business goals. Hello, and welcome to the top 7 digital marketing trends at 7 p.m. I am Tamara Monlouis, founder of Monovan Digital Marketing Solutions, and you know it, we help businesses navigate the digital landscape. I am so excited to be here tonight. I am excited each and every Thursday to be here, but tonight is super special because we have the mentors in the building. The mentors. Who are our mentors? Our mentors are the people that went through this program last season. So let me tell you a little bit about this top 7. It is a boot camp for businesses where we provide them with every digital marketing expert that can help them really pull together a digital marketing plan. And so they can really achieve their goals through digital marketing. I got tongue-tied there. That's my excitement level. So the businesses got a chance to really sit down and meet with these amazing mentors who went through the same process last season. They did the boot camp, they did the work. It has been a rigorous road, right? A lot of work, a lot of information about digital marketing, the different channels. These businesses met with people from branding. They met with Jamila Bannister. They met with Michelle Gordon. She talked target audience and pricing. They met with CJ, who talked content creation, Favor, who talked about SEO. So everything you could think about in digital marketing, these businesses are going through that process and really talking to these experts. And again, they're really working the program, working it to get their digital marketing plan in order. The reason we wanted them to meet with people from season 1, it's because, you know what, they're also small businesses, so they could really identify with exactly what they're going through in this process. Every week, the businesses have come here and they've said, you know what, it is a little bit overwhelming. It is a lot of work, but it's great information that really helps them take their business to the next level. So we're seeing the progress. We're really excited about where they're going with it. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I feel the way I feel today. I feel like today is a little bit emotional because it's almost like these folks have become, they're mentors now. They've gone through the process, they believe, and they're working their digital marketing plan as well, right? So that's important. These mentors went through the process and now they're taking that blueprint and using it this season, this year, to achieve their business goals. So you know what? I also like to think that they're digital marketing experts as well. When you talk to them, they talk about digital in a way that is so different from before they started doing this. So they themselves are now digital marketers, and they've been able to, again, really take some time and share with the 4 businesses that we have this season who are so awesome. So I can't wait for you guys to go through this process with us. Here, they're top 7 because the mentors have a top 7 as well. Yay! Of course they would have a top 7. They are overachievers and I love it. I love it. So Trudy Ann is a mentor. You remember Trudy Ann from Her Mind, and Chef Saidah is a mentor as well. So remember her from Edible Opus. So today's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. And yeah, this is going to be a good show. So this is going to be one of my favorites. Again, always super excited to be here about it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to bring, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Usually Chef is not here today, but she did a great thing by producing recorded videos for us. She has a class, and that's okay because it's really, this class is helping her to move her business forward, but she was still able to pull together her 7 tips for us. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to bring Chef to the stage with her video, her 7 tips. Then we'll bring Trudy Ann to the stage. She'll run through her 7 tips and we'll go through back and forth with the businesses. It's going to be amazing. All right, so let me first give you the first 7 tips from Chef Saidah Farrell. And here we go. Here are the tips. The tips are: go live more often, A/B testing, build an engaged community, more intentional about her calls, streamline her brand messaging, created a new product, and increase pricing. So that's a quick and dirty of it, but let me go to the video so you can hear exactly how she delivered it, all right?
And so the first thing that I implemented is that I went live more often. And this increased my engagement, and I had so much fun with it, just turning on in my Facebook group, my going live, and just showing people some of my mistakes and some of my triumphs as well. It's just so funny when you're cooking live, and I was trying like new recipes live, and it was failing and it was a mess, but I had so much fun and it was great engagement. So going live is definitely something that I implemented and helped with the business. I did some A/B testing of my website and my photos. So I optimized to optimize for conversion. So, I had a couple of different photos that I wanted to see if it made a difference with conversion, and yellow seemed to be like that color, because yellow is one of those colors in the food industry that makes your palate, satiate. So that was very helpful with learning how to do A/B testing. I built an engaged community, and this engaged community was through a Facebook group. And I didn't even realize what I was doing, that they became my focus group. And I would ask them questions, do you like this product? Do you like this flavor? So that was great, having a focused, engaged community. All of the businesses, I told them that, so this is my fourth point, was making sure you have a call to action and being more intentional with that call to action was something that I learned from CJ and Tamara. Is definitely, don't waste that post. Like, I've had a few reels that were 10,000 and 7,000, and I didn't give them a call to action. 10,000 views, 7,000 views, and I didn't give them a call to action at the end of it. So I'm much more intentional now, whether I want them to email me or if I want them to visit the website, buy this product, whatever it is, making sure that you're intentional with that call to action, because some of this stuff is evergreen, especially if you're posting it on Instagram or YouTube. It's evergreen content that people can find you, and you want to make sure that you have this call to action. The fifth thing I did, which was actually the first thing that I did, was working with Jamila and working on my brand messaging. But going beyond just the brand messaging, this year I saw that everybody, when they worked with Maria, they worked on their brand appearance. And I took note of that, and I created my little board that shows my fonts and my logos and my brand message. And it's been a great tool to have, because knowing my colors, I can just pull out this sheet of paper, and when I need to know what's that specific red, what's that specific brown, I can use that. So it's really important to work on your brand appearance so that everywhere you go on the internet, people know that it's you. Because my competitor, I know that they're like bubblegum pink and sky blue. So when you see them, you know that that's not me, because that's not my color scheme, and that's not like my, the way they promote theirs is completely different from how I branded mine. The last two things that I implemented that came through my sessions with Michelle is, one, increasing my pricing, and two, creating a new product. So one thing that I encourage the business is to listen to your customer. They will tell you what they want. And then, so I was listening to my customers who were like, when our family gets this box, sometimes we decide who gets the cookies and who gets the marshmallows. And it made me realize that I needed to create a box for a family of 4. So that's my top 7 at 7, what an alum would do, what an alum did, how they implemented their digital marketing plan.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm back. Oh my goodness. So you see what I told you? They're experts now. Okay. She is a top 7 at 7 p.m. alumni, and you hear how she talked about it. You hear how she talked about the call to action, all the things that she really took from last season, she's been using, and that's her top 7 that she gave to the businesses this year. So really, really exciting. Now I'm going to bring Trudy Ann to the stage. Hey, Trudy Ann, how are you? Welcome.
Hi.
7, welcome back. You haven't been here in a while. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome.
I'm doing well.
I'm so glad to have you. Trudy Ann, introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
I'm Trudy Amand. I am the co-founder of Hermine, and we are a self-care lifestyle box that is created primarily from women-owned businesses. So we're all about your self-care, reminding you to practice self-love.
Awesome. So, Trudy Ann, what was it like mentoring with some of the businesses this season? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was fun. It was kind of incredible to think that, like you said, I'm now a digital marketer, right? I went through the boot camp and I'm officially been branded a digital marketer.
Right.
So it was fun. It was nice to share some of the information that I learned because it helps them to not make similar mistakes. Although I learned from those mistakes as well, but it really is an opportunity to show not only what we did, but that we got results from what we did, because that was the experiment, right? When we went through it, it's like, okay, I wonder, for us, like, I wonder if something's going to happen, and it things beyond our wildest expectations happened,
Right.
and so we are a testament that it does work if you work it.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. So, Trudy Ann, you as well, you have a top seven. So, I'm going to put the top seven on the screen. I definitely want you to run through that for the folks. All right. All
Okay.
right. Let's go.
All right. So the first thing is to show up live more frequently and humanize your brand. Tamara always said more Trudy all the time. And really, when I did that, I found that we saw more engagement. People wanted to know more, see the back end, see the story. And so I find that that really helped us to be memorable and get repeat customers. Optimizing our email flow, we have conversions that are happening based on this email flow. We have a welcome flow, for example, and we have a repeat customer flow. And it's funny that customers engage with that email. They're like, "Oh yes, you're welcome. We're so glad to buy again," and so on. So it's amazing what if a well-written email can do, and people can actually engage with it. The third is to launch strategic promotions, and so for us, Women's History Month was a prime example because we support women in many different ways. And so for Women's History Month, we did a post every day. We posted the women the vendors that are in our boxes, as well as the amazing women-owned businesses that we work with, service providers, attorneys. Our IP attorney Tamara was on there, but it was a great way to show up every day for 30 days and really showcase what we do, get people to know more about our brand, and then we could also leverage from there an actual call to action. The fourth is to leverage keywords. This was interesting because initially when we started, I was so excited that we were ranking for Hermione. Like, ranking, look, Tamara, look, we're ranking for Hermione. And Tamara burst my bubble and said, "Well, but no one's looking for Hermione." I'm like, "Yeah, but look." So, really to look at what are your keywords, what are people looking for, and what do you want to be found for? And those are the keywords that you need to optimize in your images, on your website, everywhere you can, in your blogs. You want to make sure that you're leveraging your keywords so you're found for that. That's a longer tail strategy, but it does start to pay off, and we've seen it pay off. Adding a call to action to emails and social media. This was something I wasn't doing. Again, Tamara had to have that reality check with me, and I realized that I was sending emails. I'm like, "This is what we're up to. These are the new products. This is what's coming in your next box. All these things," but I wasn't asking them to do anything. I didn't ask them to follow us. I didn't ask them to click and shop. I didn't ask them to do anything. I was just giving them information. I was really missing out on an opportunity. And so now, even on social media, if we post a product, a sneak peek, we have an opportunity for them to click and buy that product, buy the box. So we have call to actions in different places. The sixth for us was adding a B2B strategy. It worked for us. It actually evolved all on its own. People who received our boxes, who were business owners, who were executive coaches, they wanted to send our box because they liked the feeling they got when they received a box. And so then they wanted to start sending our box to their clients. And so that was just a natural evolution. We started to notice that the sentiments that were coming in for gifts were from business owners based on what they wrote. And so I started approaching them and offering them additional services that were more tailored towards a B2B customer. And so we actually started to make that a strategy to go after B2B. And then the seventh is to make adjustments based on what the data is showing you. I know for us as business owners, we're very emotionally attached to our businesses and we want to do things that feel great. But sometimes what feels great or what feels comfortable is not what's working or is not where you get the most bang for your buck. So, for example, you may really enjoy being on Twitter, but if you're not seeing the engagement on Twitter, then perhaps that's not where you should be spending most of your time. And so really looking at what the data says and adjusting your strategy has really been key to us and making it more of a business than a hobby. So those are my top 7.
So proud. I don't even know what to do with myself.
You have tissue. You have tissue.
I know I probably need some tissue. I think I need some tissue. This is like such a proud moment for me. You guys have a top 7. Like it's everything you learned, and it's everything in this nutshell that like makes sense. And these are clearly the things that are working for you right now. I love the fact that you're talking about the B2B strategy. I love the fact that you talk about call to action. Chef talked about that as well too, the importance of that call to action. And it's something as businesses that we miss, right? Because we think we're giving out the information and we're not telling people what to do. And the fact that people are responding to your emails as well, right? I mean, that's really a shift and having a clear email strategy. So you are doing all the things that are so right and really growing the business. So I'm really excited about that. And, it's just so good to see. So thank you so much, Trudy Ann. So I'm going to bring Jamie to the stage. I know you and Jamie are connecting next week, which is great. So we definitely want to follow up on that. I'm going to bring Jamie to the stage and we're going to run through her meeting with Chef a little bit. And I'll bring you back to the stage when we get to Michelle and to Kimnique, because I'm excited to have that conversation. All right. See you soon, Trudy. Hello, Jamie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you tonight, Tamara?
I am doing amazing. Tonight is, again, one of my faves because, the mentors are now, working with the businesses and just, I just think it's such an evolution, and I am so grateful to have them here. The fact that they took the time with you guys is just awesome to me.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit. So Jamie, firstly, introduce yourself, tell the people who you are and tell them about your business.
Absolutely. So my name is Jamie Snell. I'm the founding owner of Eco Crates of America. We put together subscription boxes for families that are looking to have homes free of toxins. I also help educate those families on why it's important to know the ingredients of our products and provide safe ingredients for those families.
Jamie, that talk track's so nice. So good. And I love now that you're talking about the educating. Oh, it's really good stuff. So Jamie, talk a little bit about your meeting with Chef. I know you guys have been meeting consistently throughout the process,
Yes.
but talk a little bit about some of those meetings and maybe this last meeting. What were some of the things you guys talked about?
Absolutely. So I just have to say, Chef has been instrumental for me since the get-go of my business. We've really connected. She's been a great sounding board and a great cheerleader. So I'm super grateful for her. She was very helpful through this program as a mentor in guiding me when things didn't make sense. Because in the very beginning, I think I had mentioned, like, sometimes I need to hear it 2 or 3 times, if not more, before it really sinks in. And she was helpful in that because she was so patient. And she knew that I needed like time to process it, and she could help like bring it to a level that made sense to me because we had worked together a little bit more in the past. So that was wonderful. So just I could go to her for anything. Probably saved you a little bit of time for me running to you with everything that I didn't understand. My last meeting with her was super amazing. She went through her top 7 with me that she had shared with the group tonight. And it was really good because I could see how I knew her when she went through season 1, and I saw how she was implementing these changes, and they even made me dizzy when she was doing it. I can't tell you how dizzy I've been trying to do it myself, but just to see how she broke them down into very digestible bites and what those things could do and how they could change her business over time, and how we walked through how they will apply to me and my business with Eco Crates of America. And I think one of the great things that we did is we went through the pillars that you and I had defined a while back when we did our marketing strategy, and we fine-tuned them. So that was very helpful. It was a little broad for me, and I love that she helped me like narrow it down, and then there's like little subcategories of each. So it's a little bit more, sometimes I need it straightforward. If I have too many options, as I've mentioned, I get the decision fatigue. So, just give me the straight and narrow. And then when I have the energy, I'll get creative with it. But in the meantime, like, just give me like the simple little plan to start with, and then I can bloom. So we worked on that. And then similar to what she had talked to Trudy Ann about last season was, more personalization. So she encouraged me just to get live more because I do enjoy being in front of the camera. Being impromptu is not a big deal for me. I don't mind doing it. I just don't do it as often as I should. So I have done that the past 2 weeks. I've gotten on. I've done a couple more reels. I'm getting more comfortable with the videos. I did 1 or 2 lives and shared those. Let's see, there's one other thing. Oh, and podcasting. She really pushed me on the podcasting front. So I had told you guys in the past about the course I was doing with Revel. And I remembered to hit record this past week. And we had a great session and it was a full hour. So I'm going to look into now having that transcribed for a blog post as well as re-recorded a little bit more professionally than just my cell phone and converting it to like an actual podcast so I can start storing up these options when I'm ready to go live with it, because I know myself well enough. I need a few months of material before I can actually go live with it because I need it stockpiled, so to speak.
I love. So, what I'm hearing is that, that connection with, someone who went through this program, that connection with someone who has a small business as well, you could really find yourself there and she could really help you streamline things. Because I'm sure as the experts, we're coming and we're giving you this information, but she's like, hey, here's how I did this in this, with all this information, here's how I was really practical with it. So I really love that you got that from her and that you guys have been really working together throughout. And you're right, Chef is awesome. And, it's really just good to hear that you guys were able to connect that way. So I have a video from her talking about her meeting with you. So she couldn't be here tonight, but that's okay. She sent videos for everything. So I'm going to play the video and then we'll talk a little bit more, Jamie.
Okay, thank you.
When it comes to Jamie, working with her is an ease because we've been working together for about a year now, actually. I feel like I'm her first mentor in this business, and we've become accountability partners with her Eco Crates of America. And what Jamie and I really wanted to talk about was marketing. She has a lot to do, and it's just going to be amazing once we see her digital marketing plan come together. Her concern was really about like her timeline with everything that needs to be done. It seems to always be a question, what's the first thing to do? And I always feel like everything gets done at the same time. But I encouraged her to work on that email campaign because one of my regrets with my business is that I wasn't able to establish my email campaign early on. And then talking about a podcast, because, I'm thinking about the podcast, and she would have a great podcast with not just using, other people's platforms, but also talking about sustainability and toxin-free homes, and just having that show that gives that information, whether it's educational or, teaching people like that one step that they can make the world a better place. I think that would be helpful for Jamie. And then we talked about like the subscribers that she currently has. One thing that I did when I had a few subscribers is I really dug into them, trying to understand where they live, what were their interests, how old they were. So it's a great thing to take the opportunity when you're small to really understand your target market and dig into it. And when we started looking at those who have recently purchased from her, we found that these people were like above just being educated. They already had an understanding of how to keep their homes toxin free. So they were looking for solutions. So one of the suggestions I made to Jamie was to focus on some content that's all about the solution and the transformation. So, if someone was interested in a nail polish, like you can show them what you used to use and like what's a better nail polish. And we looked at one of her pillars about like her son having asthma and talked, I have a child who had asthma when she was younger, and what are the things that you can change in your household that make a difference in the life of a child who has asthma? So for me, it was actually moving from the tall pines of Georgia to Cleveland, Ohio, which changed, the air for, even though there's like pollen in the air that looks like it's snow, but that definitely helped with my daughter as well. But, for Jamie to really look at those products that she used to use and the products she's now using and how that made a difference for her son.
Oh my goodness. All these digital marketing experts. Yes. They sound so expert. So that conversation about digging into the pillars, the asthma, I remember that conversation with you. And then I love the idea of really doing the product, one product, the sustainable product versus the the product with all the toxins in it. Yeah, I love that comparison. That's such a great idea. So how do you feel about those ideas, and also email, right? Because that's also something that you need to jump into. How do you feel about taking those steps forward?
So I'm excited, to be honest with you. I have a beautiful roadmap. It's just a matter of executing it. And like she said, I do struggle sometimes with what do I do next? What do I go first? And she's singing to me about visibility, which you have been the whole time too. So implementing a lot of the things that I've learned strategically. I'm already trying to get at least 1 month ahead. I'd like to be 3 months ahead of the game, but thinking ahead to next month while I'm still working in this month. Even with the emails, like scheduling them out instead of waiting till the last minute to get it out there because, I forgot I've got to get another one out this week. So just being a little bit more intentional about my time and planning ahead so that those emails are a priority. I do have my flows in place, and I was able to make some tweaks to it based on the last expert that we had met with email marketing. And then Chef is good. She's encouraging because I had recently sent out an email and she wrote back. She's like, the contents in this email need to be on Reels. Like, you can convert this. Like, I'm like, can I hire you for my business manager? She's so good. She's so encouraging. I apologize for my dog. I think it's Farrell. She's just barking at everything right now. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to get a podcast rolling. And then the idea of focusing on the content that gives solutions and doing product comparisons, it makes me a little bit nervous because I don't want to shame people for what they're using. I think that we all have different priorities and we're in different phases of life, but it is a good idea to let people know what I don't think is safe because I want people to trust what I'm saying and I want to explain why. So showing something that I used to use and I no longer use because I learned it had this in it, and I found this is a great replacement. I think that would be a really good opportunity for people to start trusting me a little bit more and believing in what I'm saying because they can see it for themselves.
Absolutely. And don't think of it as shaming, but think of it more so as educating, right? It's a continuous process of educating. And once people understand and they know more, they're like, oh, okay, cool. You know what? I can absolutely use this. This makes sense. So you are doing all the right things. And I think working with Chef is really good. We bring together all the things that the experts have given you and really say, hey, here's how I can use this in a really practical way. Here's my focus. And I really love that you're getting that. And it sounds like the meeting was really successful. The top 7 really helped you out and you seem really pumped. I'm excited. You have me feeling really pumped. I'm like, this was a good move. The mentors are in the building. And you're also meeting with Trudy Ann next week, which is awesome.
And I can't wait. So I have met with Trudy Ann once before on a different matter, just because she's her own subject matter expert in so many different areas. And I love what she's doing with her box. And I love her inspiration and the passion she has for it. So I've spoken with her a little bit about business management and hiring outside of your own self, like to look for who can do it, not just how to do it. So she's been very instrumental in that. So I'm really excited to talk to her about, her perception of my business and the things that I'm implementing from learning from all the experts. So that'll be a great meeting next week.
That's going to be a great meeting. So we definitely want an update next week, the following week, to hear how it went. I know you're going to get great things from Trudy Ann as well. So Jamie, thank you so much for doing this. Your dog is like, we're on the show. He's like, we're live. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We will definitely talk to you next week. And I'm glad this was successful. I look forward to seeing where things go, how things move forward with the business. Next week is the season finale, so we get to do the recap of everything. It's been 12 weeks. Could you imagine that?
It went by so fast.
It went by so fast. I know. I'm like, what am I going to do the following Thursday? I don't know. We'll get on a live anyway.
Sure, why not?
We'll just do it. Absolutely. Jamie, have a great week. We will see you next week. All right. Take care.
Have a great night. Thanks so much.
Take care for sure. Bye. Oh my goodness. Let me jump into the chat a little bit. We're saying welcome to the show, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Michelle is like, she's been waiting for this show. Chef had a great top 7. Akila is saying an amazing top 7. Thanks for joining. Yes, Trudy Ann. Wow. Top 7. An amazing top seven. It was really a good top seven. You know, the fact that these businesses put together a top seven for me is just, you know, genius. And I love that. So I'm going to jump into talk a little bit about Uche. And we've talked about Rural Watch Africa and the work that they've been doing. They've been doing amazing work in Nigeria. You know, the focus of that NGO is to really help, you know, they have different projects that they're running within Nigeria. So they're helping schools, you know, they're building fruit trees. They're helping people who have lost their home, getting a home together, helping people start businesses. There are a lot of things that he's doing to really help his people in Nigeria. And at Monovan Digital, what we've been doing is to help him pull his online presence together. So we've been going a little step further with that brand to really make sure that they have a clear online presence. We recently just completed 3 pages of his new website, which looks awesome. I will definitely share that with you guys next week. So that is up and running. We set up his email campaigns for him in Aweber. We met with them last week. We also set up his ambassador program that now has an amazing PDF that has links to resources. So for people who want to be ambassadors for Rural Watch Africa, they are able to do that and just download the information and start raising funds. So it was really good to, you know, just kind of get him up and running from a digital marketing standpoint. We're also working on his Google ads. He has a $10,000 Google monthly grant. So we're working on that to make sure he has the right keywords in there and that people can find him, and focusing those Google ads more so on the US markets. It has been focused on a worldwide market. So we're going to scale that back and make sure we focus on the US market and try to really push the ambassador program. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing with that brand. And I'm going to jump into the video of Chef when she met with Uche and their conversation.
Hey everybody, it's Chef Saidah Farrell of the Marshmallow of the Month Club. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there with you today, but I just wanted to make sure I recorded, you know, what it was like to work with these 4 businesses the last week for the 7 at 7 digital marketing plan. So first I had the pleasure of meeting with Uche, and, you know, just learning about Ruwai Africa was so inspiring. And I think he, you know, recruited me to become an ambassador by the time that we were done. So what I tried to help Uche understand from my point of view, because we definitely were talking about he was not for profit and I am a for-profit business. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your digital marketing plan, you want to make sure that you're marketing for visibility. So whether you're not for profit or for profit, it's all about like making sure that you get the utmost visibility. So we took a look at some of his videos that were on Instagram, and I just made a couple of suggestions, nothing like CJ could, but definitely, you know, shooting in portrait to maximize those reels and showing some of that African joy that's out there in Africa that we love to watch, and really getting to an understanding of the people that are benefiting from his work in Ruwai Africa.
See, there you go. So she was able to share some great information with Uche. We cannot wait to hear his feedback. I know he's been a little bit busy because the great thing about Uche is that he is the man on the ground in Nigeria actually doing the work, right? So sometimes he is able to get stuff to us on time. Sometimes he's doing the work. So, you know, we have to make it happen. So we're super excited to hear from him next week, and we'll share with you exactly what he says. So thank you so much, Chef, for meeting with him. All right, so I am going to bring Trudy Ann back to the stage. Trudy Ann, come on back. All right, so it is time for us to bring Michelle to the stage so we can talk a little bit with Michelle about how it was working with you. And now I know you and Michelle have been working together for a little bit now. So Michelle, how are you? Welcome. How are things? You're muted. There you go. Say hello. No, I can hear the clicks, but we can't hear you. But that's okay. So Trudy Ann, so talk a little bit about what it was like. Well, you've been meeting with Michelle. You know, you are the one that introduced me to Michelle and got me so excited about her business and gave us this new talent. We can hear you now. You're there.
Just had to adjust the microphone, you know, technology. You never know what it's going to do.
All right, that's all right. You know what? We adapt. We know how technical difficulties can be, so we're always adapting. So, Trudy Ann, talk a little bit about what it was like meeting with Michelle. And again, you guys have known each other for some time, so you can tell us all about that.
Yeah, so it was great to talk to Michelle at the end of the journey, right? Because when I was telling her about you and the journey I went on, and basically I was like, Michelle, you have to do this. And so to see her go through the process and the things that she's learned and things that she's implementing, like we a moment ago, and you were really proud. I'm really proud. I'm really seeing a lot of the evolution of her business, and even when we met, we were looking at her website and the things she's implemented based on some of the feedback she's received. So she has a wonderful mission, and so I think that coupled with all of what she's learned and everything that she's implementing and still yet to implement, right? Because that was one of the things with this process that I explained to her, that it's really like it's a boot camp, and it's like drinking from a fire hose. You're going to get a lot of information in these weeks, and you're not going to be able to implement everything. You need to prioritize what do you want to implement, what can you implement, and then take that after the show and then continue with that momentum. And so it was really, really neat to see what she's done so far. But yet I know that there's more great things to come. So
Awesome, awesome. Well, Michelle, now that we can hear you, please introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, and tell them about your business.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Singh. I am CEO and a school achievement strategist. My business is an educational consulting firm called LCTE Learning Solutions, and we focus on programs and professional development for educators in the K-12 space. And what we do is we help educators to build more trusting relationships with their students and bridge cultural gaps with their students.
You know what? Brand messages every right. You're like, let's just applaud.
I remember where it started.
Right. It sounds so good right now. These brand messages, you guys have been working them every week, and I love that you're getting the practice, and every week it sounds better and better. So Michelle, talk about what it was like to connect with Trudy Ann and go through the process and just share this week, because I know there are times where this has been overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
But I know that Trudy Ann is probably definitely able to kind of help level that out and get you to on the right track with the blueprint. How do you prioritize, as she mentioned? So talk a little bit about meeting with her and what that was like.
Sure. So one of the things that I asked both Chef and Trudy was, there was obviously a lot. There is obviously a lot in these 12 weeks that we learned. So what did you implement and what was the result? Because you can't implement everything, right? Like, you have the information in your arsenal, in your toolbox, and you can implement it at some point, but you can't do everything in the 12 weeks. So we talked about what worked, what they were able to implement and what worked, and what the result was. But the conversation with Trudy was like a regular conversation that we normally had, but we went through, her top 7, and we talked about some things that that she was able to do that I can apply to my own business. For example, the CTA part. That was something that I'm really strategic about, even with my website. Like, I want to make sure that in different areas of the website, there's a CTA, like click here to book a consultation, click here to learn more, because I know how important having that CTA is. Even when I'm starting to post more now on social media, I have a CTA, go here to sign up or register or whatever it is. So we talked about like the importance of the CTA. These are just a few things that we talked about, but also analytics, because analytics was like a big thing for me, because it's in an area where I don't gravitate towards. But we talked about the importance of keeping up with the analytics, but more so tracking what the result of those, those things that we're doing in our business that's different. What is the result? Like, what did I do and what was the result of it? So we know exactly what we did, so we could replicate it. Absolutely. Because we know the kind of result that it brings. We talked about, the products, like the B2B, B2C, because I am now developing new stuff for my business. So I am developing programs and workshops for a business that I'm partnering with, as well as developing programs and workshops just generally for clients. So they have like a self-study online thing that they could just purchase as they need it. Right. And so we talked about that. There was so much. There's a lot. But those were some of the things that, that stood out, that I know that those are things that I'm applying right now to what I'm doing with, with my business, and what I'm seeing, what I'm seeing a
Right.
result with. And of course, showing up live, that's super important. I'm becoming more comfortable in front of the camera. And, I have been posting a little bit more on the socials with myself, not just a post with text and a picture, but I'm all, I have videos there.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. I think, it sounds like Trudy Ann really helped you to streamline things. And, in this boot camp, the reality is that you cannot implement everything in the 12 weeks, right? But this is really what you have is not a 12-week plan. What you have is a year-long plan that you can go back to and you can optimize. And I know you also met with Chef. So what was that meeting like? And I know we have a video from her, so we'll play that video as well.
Oh.
What was it like meeting with her?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to play the video first.
You're next. That's all right.
No problem. So Chef was, it was great meeting with Chef because she's also a former educator, and from the Cleveland School District. So we connected in that way as well, because she is my target ultimately, right? She's a teacher. So we talked a lot about the things that she didn't do that she wants to improve, like her mail strategy. So that was something we touched on a lot, because that's where I am. I'm in the process of trying to develop my email strategy. And we talked about that. And then when I actually talked to Trudy yesterday, Trudy recommended an app, a tool, Jasper, that was like, blew my mind that I could use something to come up with the wording so I wouldn't have to keep repeating myself 10 different ways and try to figure it out myself, right? So go ahead.
That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Listen, I wish I had that during college.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was like the icing on the cake, because I'm like, now I have a tool to help me with trying to create this strategy, this email flow that I'm going to need for the programs and things that I'm in the process of putting out. We talked, of course, about the live and the engagement and how she increased her engagement with the lives. And then she had this community that she built, because that is something that I'm doing as well. When I do live, I'm going to be doing it in my online learning community for the educators. And ultimately what she did is what I am aspiring to do. So we talked about that. We had a really long conversation about copywriting and trademarking, because, this is our intellectual property that we're putting out there. And she's had some struggles and some successes with that. So we talked through that and, talked about what my journey could look like with the copywriting and the trademarking of my, my framework, my methodology that I've come up with. That's the focus of my business. So those are just some of the top things. She even recommended, someone from the school district in Cleveland that she knows would be a fit for the work that I'm doing. So all kinds of happiness and joy.
I feel like the businesses with the meetings with the businesses were so good. It's like, here's this amazing tool that you can write your email with. And by the way, I may have a lead for you.
Exactly, right?
I'm like, we should have more mentor sessions. Awesome. So I'm going to jump in and play Chef's video of her meeting with you.
When I met with Michelle, we talked a gambit of things. We talked about the trademark process and copywriting. She has, her methodologies that she's looking to copyright. And I talked to her through my trademark process that I'm still going through. I think we're like 20 months in at this point, just getting our trademark together. It's so funny. I had asked her, because I was familiar with her website, and I asked her, I said, do you think you have too much copy on your website? And not only did she say, yeah, I'm working on that, she previewed her new website to me. And I'm jealous. It's gorgeous. I wish I had a website that looked like that. She definitely gave me the contact information, but her new website that's coming is just filled with Michelle, and I'm so excited for her. I can definitely see her going far with this business. I was an educator for 3 years teaching culinary arts, and I completely understand everything that she's trying to help the schools achieve with when it comes to students and their social emotional learning, education, just making them better better scholars. And so I love her business. And so when we were talking, her question for me was, as an alum, what's the strategies that I implemented and how did it help my business? And that leads me to my top 7 at 7 alum, what I
So we had to cut the videos up a little bit. And I think we went through that. We'll play it again for the recap. But I am so excited that you got such good information. You know, I thought the voices of these small businesses are so important to me. I think Trudy Ann and Chef are definitely the pulse of what's happening on the ground for me. And, you know, the more that they are able to move their businesses forward, it's just really good to see. And I think they will continue to have a wealth of information to really share with other businesses. You know, Trudy Ann, I don't know, you might have to take this show on the road.
You know, when Tamara puts stuff out into the universe, you know, it's like
I'm like, I don't know, Trudy Ann. I don't know. I don't know. We might have to take this show on the road. All right. So let me jump into the comments because people are talking here. So, okay, we talked about the list. Great brand messaging. It hits all the points. Michelle, that's a fantastic brand message. Akil is saying so informative. I love how everyone's top 7 complements each other, prove that it works on every level. Amy is here. Hi, amazing journey over the past 12 months, 12 weeks, Amy. What a journey over the 12 weeks. 12 months will be epic for sure. We hear road trip. I don't know. We might take this show on the digital streets. I'm just saying it's so important to have the voice of the small business for me. So I think we might be able to take that show on the road. She showed us take it on the road. You know, Pam is in the building. What's going on, Pam? How are you? I'm so glad that you're here. Ready for road trip. Trudy Ann, I'm just saying, we'll have to talk about this. It's going to be a road trip. We'll have you talking to all the small businesses when we create this into a conference, because this should really just be a conference, right? And then we have you guys come and talk, and then we'll have Michelle come back and talk about it. So I love, again, I can't say it enough. I really love this show because the energy is the right energy. And I think what it's done for the businesses that I'm hearing is that it's kind of leveled them out. It's given them that confidence to really think like, hey, I don't need to do everything. Here are the things I focus on. Trudy Ann, it's funny to me that not funny, but you know, the analytics, right? It was funny when Michelle talked about the analytics and you telling her how important the analytics was. So
you're gonna tell on me, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm like, Trudy Ann told you the analytics, because I know now the analytics super important to you, but in the beginning it was really more about the creative. So even in your process, there's been so much growth. And so talk about that a little bit and the importance of analytics, where you were before and where you are now with analytics.
Yeah, so I'm a creative, right? That I am all about making things pretty, and that's really my thing. And so when I first met with Tamara, and she said, "Oh, so your analytics," all I heard was "rah rah rah rah." So we had some additional meetings, and she kept talking. I'm like, she's serious, right? She's planning to continue to talk about these analytics things. So I wanted to make sure that next time I spoke to her, I actually had looked at it because I knew she was going to talk about it. So I started looking at it, and I really started to notice that I can tell a lot about our customers from the information that's there. I can tell where people are coming from. I can tell what platforms, what city, really starting to look at the results of the levers we pull. And that's one of the things I pointed out to Michelle as well, is that you really have to know what lever you pulled that resulted in the analytics that you're tracking. Because the worst thing that can happen to you, believe it or not, is seeing these amazing results and you have no idea what you did. You did 10 things in that day and you're like, oh my God, I have no idea which one of the 10 things resulted in that. And so now you can't you can't refine it, you can't redo it. You just, now you're like, oh, that was a blip. So, really to focus on, even if you're changing things on your website, you're moving things around, make note, hey, I did this on this day. Did you see an increase? If you did SEO or something else, what did you do that could have resulted in that? And so Tamara talks a lot about levers that you can pull. So even if you're seeing a dip in business, what lever can you pull that is relatively reliable that results in something else? And so you can only know that when you look at your analytics and know your numbers. So I'm a convert. Hi, my name is Trudy, and I now look at analytics.
I'm gonna have that video cut right there, and I'm gonna run it and over and over and over and over again. I love that. I love that, Michelle. Clearly, this was good.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Next week is the season finale, so we really just get to come and talk about everything, right? We get to talk about everything, how you're pulling it together, where you are, and I heard a little something about a website, so
Yeah.
are we able to see that? What's going on?
I could give you a little preview. It's still under. Can I share my screen?
Do you see the option to say?
Yeah. So
Well, sure, 100%. We love previews.
all right. So
Yeah, so click on the share your screen, and then you should be able to. There you go.
You see it now?
I am. Let me see if I can add it to the stream. There we go. Oh,
You see? Okay, so we talked about a lot. Obviously, there's going to still be a lot of changes, but do you see what's here? Are you a teacher? Are you an administrator? Remember we talked about that?
We did talk about that.
So look at right. So look where it goes. It goes to a quiz. Right?
Look at you.
They take the quiz, and what happens when they take the quiz is they get a resources page. So it's a hidden page. So let me see if I can find it. Maybe I'll just preview it next week. I don't know because this website is not live yet, right. But they're going to get a resources page that will give curated resources just for the administrator, just for the teacher with a little message. So, it's just a lot of changes. There's still copy. I know we talked about the copy, but I also included images. There's a video here about me. When you go to, about LCTE learning, there's copy, but there's also, this is a pop-up of my event that's coming up. So there's that. So there's a lot that I'm very happy with, a lot that I'm proud of with this website. It's still under construction, so there's still stuff that needs to be adjusted, but you could see here, I'm super happy with it. This talks about my methodology. Here's a video where I break down the methodology, but you see the call to actions are in different places. I'm so stoked about it. Super stoked about it. Yep. So that's
congratulations, Michelle. This is, that is really, a round of applause for you. Again, I feel like we're applauding you the entire time. Michelle, that is actually the practical solutions for you're implementing, you're working it, you're implementing, you're taking the information and you're actually doing the work, and the website it's perfect. So I cannot wait to see it live, but it is really good. And there's a lot of you in the website, right? Which is really great as well too, because people want to see you. They want to hear you talk about your methodology. I love the fact that you have videos for engagement. So now those are the things that you get to track, and you get to see how many people are watching those videos, and you really get to see how is that content working. So,
and remember when I first started, I was really, skeptical about putting me there. Remember, I was like, should I be on the page? And my current website doesn't have me on there except for the About Michelle page.
Right.
And so I had to kind of, be okay with me being the spokesperson of my business, me being the face of the business. And so that's why now you see that on the new site. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay, because when they get LCTE Learning Solutions, they get the colorfulness of Michelle.
Right. And you're already doing it offline anyway, right? At your conferences, you're the person you're the representative. So it's fine to be on your website. So Michelle, this is really exciting. I cannot wait to see when everything comes together, but it looks really good. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Guys, did you see this preview of this website? This is really good stuff. So thank you. We will see you next week. I will reach out and we'll talk a little bit about how next week is going to flow, because it's really just an overview of, hey, what have you learned in these last 12 weeks, and what's being implemented, and you already started to show some stuff. So thank you for doing that. I love it. All right, have a great night. Take care. Talk next week.
Bye.
Trudy Ann. Again, wow. Michelle. I know
You've done it again.
But this was all you, though. This was you made it was such a great recommendation. One of the things about Michelle's business is it's something so different, and we'd never really worked with a business like that before. So I thought that there was a great opportunity there, but it was really a strong recommendation, and she is working it. Jamaica strong. Yes,
Yes.
I'm a Trini. Jamaica strong in the building. If I had a flag, I'd wake up.
If I had known, I have one.
I know you would, yeah. You're like, wait a second. Let me Hilarious. All right. Well, we're gonna bring Kim Neek to the stage now. Kim Neek. Kim, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you this week, Kim? Kim, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and tell them about your business.
Peace and love, everyone. I'm Kim Neek. I am the creator of raiseavibration.com, which is a holistic website for uplifting and healing your mind, body, and soul. And on my website, you'll find spiritual items to enhance your ritual practices, your meditation practices, like crystals, candles, mala beads, and so much more. So check it out, please.
Right, it's like the call to action. The call to action, the exactly what you do, who it's for. Like, you hit all the points. The brand messages have just been refined. I think we have to get the clips from day one all the way up to now, right?
Before and after.
Before and after. Yeah, that's absolutely. I'm like, I see the clips in my mind right now. So, so Kim Neek, talk a little bit about what it was like to meet with both Trudy Ann and Chef.
It was really motivational and inspirational. And it was really nice to speak with them because they've been through the program, and I felt like they were really able to empathize and relate to what I've been through. And also just everything, just seeing how much progress they've made, it makes me feel more confident too. And just the advice that they gave was like super informative, because it's almost like they already went through the process. There's some things that they wish they could have done differently, but they have applied it and going forward. And now they're like, okay, look, you need to make sure you especially pay attention to these things, which I feel like is priceless information that I couldn't, pay for. So I'm very grateful for that experience with them.
Aw. So Trudy Ann, what was it like meeting with Kim Neek? Her business is, there's some cool stuff there, right? Well, I'm sure your mind was like, okay.
It's funny, at the end of our call, I'm like, okay, so I may need to talk to you about a product that I'm putting in a
I can see that.
Yeah. So, but her business is also about, there is an aspect of self-care in her box and in her product and her website, and it has a number of different avenues that she could potentially, visit. And so for me, it was really, really refreshing, especially since she's so young in her business. And I was telling her, it would have been great to have had our opportunity earlier on in our evolution of our business, because some of those things that we had to either learn on our own or mistakes we made, if we had done it sooner, we would have been able to start off on a different foot and start off by implementing some of these things. So I think that she's extremely fortunate that she's so early in her business, and she has the insight that she's getting from the different experts that she can then implement and really structure her business on that foundation. So I think that's really amazing for her. So and love her energy. So it was great to meet her.
Awesome. I'm gonna play Chef's video, Kim Neek.
I really enjoyed talking to Kim Neek. Her business is something that, it resonates with me. I'm a person who meditates every morning. I don't have my bracelets on right now, but my daughter has made me some bracelets that, that I use for different energy when I'm feeling stressed or when I'm feeling like I need to be productive. I have certain crystals that I wear. So definitely loved meeting with Kim Neek, and was the fact that I could inspire someone. I started my business with organic marketing, and that was something that I was talking to Kim Neek about. Like, paid advertisement is definitely the way to go, but if the budget is small, what can you do to make yourself more visible. And so for me, that was all about that old adage of, well, not that old, but the adage of posting 3 times a day, post on your stories, your reels, you know, comment on other people's posts, start following hashtags. And when you see a hashtag that's related to you, like if it's manifestation or crystals or abundance, then you go into those individuals' you know, their post and make a meaningful post, because we're so nosy that when we see somebody post, we're like, who is this person? And then they end up on your profile, and now you can take them to your website. So that's just another great way on Instagram that I was talking through with Kim Neek that I did in the very beginning, even though I'm heavier on Facebook now, but you know, I'm more engaged on Facebook. But that was just a suggestion that I made to her. And the other one was, like, are you buying what you're selling? And if you meditate every day, record yourself meditating every day and post that. Like, how easy is that content to just set up your camera like I am with baking? Like, I have my little setup and I turn my camera on and let people see what I'm doing, and whether you go live and do this on YouTube, because I'm that person that goes to YouTube for my daily 10-minute meditation, but going on YouTube live or uploading it to YouTube later, having all those keywords, people are going to find you, and they're going to, you know, she has a great voice and it makes me want to listen to her while I'm meditating. So that was the other thing that that I suggested to Kim Neek.
Oh, Kim Neek, look at you getting the strategies. So what have you started implementing based on these conversations? Have you started to implement anything? Have you started to think about things a little bit different?
Well, definitely. That was very good when she told me about Instagram as far as the advertising part, because with using Google, I definitely want to use Google AdWords. However, that is going to be very taxing on my budget. And she said that she was able to really generate a good following and get leads from her Instagram from just posting like 3 or 4 times a day. And I was like, wow, I was bumping it up to like doing 5 times a week, but 3 or 4 times a day feels like that's probably the sweet spot versus doing 3. I was like, I'm barely doing anything. So I'm like, I really need to bump it up. So I have been trying my best to like start even this week with doing like 2 or 3 a day. But by next week, I definitely have scheduled out. I'm like looking at everything and just filling in all of those, all of my content pillars, just pulling from that and like creating content. Also, with the call to action is something I took away from both mentors, is the call to action is something that I wasn't really doing, even though it has been said. It just seems like it doesn't stick in your head. Sometimes you have to hear it over and over. And now it's like sinking in, especially speaking to them, because they've actually seen how it's worked. They've seen how it worked before not doing it versus when they actually started doing it. And also, I thought it was really brilliant for her to say that I should just do something as simple as record myself meditating, because one of the things is that I'll do like videos. I've done little videos and I feel like super critical of my video and I'm like, I don't feel like I want to post it. So I'm being overcritical of myself and I'm making it more complicated is another issue that I'm working on, and I will definitely get better. But yes, that was simple, you know, just record myself doing a meditation. And it's definitely something that can grow an audience as well, and just being more present. So I really loved the advice that she gave me. It was very helpful. And I have been implementing, especially the portion with Instagram. And also she was saying that building a Facebook community as well, or getting engaged on Facebook communities that are similar to what I'm interested in. So I have been looking on Facebook and looking for similar communities that I could engage with and kind of get myself acclimated to. So that's some things that I have been implementing since we met, for sure.
Absolutely. Trudy Ann, talk a little bit about, you know, that not being so critical of yourself on camera. Because I know that's one of the things, you know, one of the strategies I always recommend, and I think I put it in your plan, more Trudy Ann.
It's actually written in the plan. It says more Trudy Ann, yes. It's challenging, quite honestly, right? Because I don't like, I'm an introvert by nature, and I really don't like to be in front of the camera. And so, you know, I was like telling telling Kanique that even when we were at a particular vendor fair, I started filming, we're here. And, my mom, who really doesn't like being on camera, I think I'm bad. She popped in and, so we had a lot of fun with it. And we did see a lot of engagement around that. So I know for a fact that when we do it, we see the engagement. It's just a matter of getting out of your own head and doing it. And so it's almost like a muscle that you have to train to do it. And I really need to do more of it. I'm still not doing it to the level that I'm sure Tamara would like. So yes, I'm telling on myself again. And so I know that, but I can absolutely tell you that when you do it, you see the results.
Okay.
I love that. I love that. So, Kimnique, it sounds like this was really good. I hear you have another meeting on Saturday.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Because I felt like I still need to, converse with her even further. It was just so motivational and uplifting for me, because it definitely feels like we've been through a boot camp. That's what it feels like,
Right.
I believe Trudy said that. She's like, it is like a boot camp. And I'm like, yes, it is. Like, because it's like, you have to keep up with it. And it's like, you got to take what you can do. As Michelle was saying in the last, she just said, it's like, you can take what you can and you can work with what you can. Like, I want to use Pinterest and everything. And it's just the email, even the email part is something that was reiterated to me that I need to really work on the email, because that is where I'm going to really gain a lot from. And just using even the small group that I have and working with that and figuring out who they are and sending out these emails is super important. So all of that is something that I have to really I'm really just grateful that this is the perfect timing, because I feel like it's going to help me. As you said, it's a new business. So just like starting off with the right steps and knowing exactly what to do in order to avoid making, mistakes is something that I just can't even express how grateful I am that I'm in the position to know what not to do, what to focus on. Emails, engagement, call to action. And also another great thing that Trudy mentioned I should do is set up my shop on Instagram and make it easier for people to access my product versus them having to go to the top, find out what's in my bio, then go to my website and then figure out where my product is versus actually just clicking on it and being able to buy the product from right online. So she gave me a lot of great information as well. Like we spoke about the subscription box. I asked both of them about the subscription box and they both had a different take on it, but I definitely will be looking into it. They mentioned Crate Joy, and also you're using, Trudy, you're using, like, you now have personalized it. So it's straight from your website. So I see where it's pros and cons in both areas by speaking with both of them, and how I can start off by just getting the exposure by being out there on these websites versus on my website and things like that. So it's just so much more. I'm sure I'm not even getting everything, it's just so much,
But you're hitting all the main points. And I love that. Again, talking to these businesses, they went through this, right? They got all the experts. The experts are amazing. We love the experts, but I think this connection, you could see yourself in them, right? And they can see themselves in you. So they've been there, they see it, and they're now able to really kind of help guide that process. So I thought this was, again, I have to keep saying, I thought this was one of the most important shows, really important for them to meet with you guys, so you could kind of feel that they've walked this road before. They were the first to walk this road. So now you're here, and they're here to support. So I love that. So Kim, I cannot wait to see what you do as you start posting moving forward. I saw your post about 666 yesterday. I was just like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So I am seeing the post. I am loving it. So definitely keep up the work. Next week is the season finale, but there's still more work to do because you have a year-long plan that you need to implement. So I'm excited for us to talk next week and really just kind of get a complete overview of really everything that you've been through. So really start thinking through that process, and we'll be back next week. All right. Have an amazing night. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Peace and love. And you guys have a great
All right. Take care. Bye. All right, Trudy Ann. So I'm going to kick it over to you to do your top 7. I know we're a little bit over time, but this was really so good. You guys, I'm really grateful that you guys spent time with the businesses. And again, I think this is something that really meant a lot to them, and probably one of the most important shows we did, just because you guys have been through this and you've been able to kind of clarify some things for them, and not have them feel so much pressure, right? It can be really daunting to get all this information. So you and Chef have just been really instrumental in everything that we're doing, taking the leap of faith to do the show last season 1, and then jumping in here to help these businesses. So I really appreciate you. Thank you. But I want you to drop your top 7, because we got to do the recap.
All right.
All right. Go for it.
All right. Show up live more frequently and humanize your brand. Tell people your story, right? Optimize your email flow. Launch strategic promotions. Make sure that you're doing things with purpose, on purpose. Leverage keywords for search engine optimization in everything you do, blogs, images, everywhere. Add call to action to emails and on social media. Don't send an email without having a call to action, even if it's just follow me on Instagram. Add B2B to your marketing strategy if appropriate. A wholesale order is very different than a retail order, so consider that if it's appropriate. And then make adjustments to your strategy based on what the data is showing. It's not just about feelings, it's about the data.
It's not just about feelings.
So the first thing that I implemented is that I went live more often, and this increased my engagement.
Oh, I don't know what's happening here. Oh my goodness, I'm over clicking. So hold on. All right. So I love the last one, especially. It's about the data. I'm going to go over to Chef's top 7, and then we will.
So the first thing that I implemented is that I went live more often, and this increased my engagement. And I had so much fun with it, just turning on in my Facebook group, my going live, and just showing people some of my mistakes and some of my triumphs as well. It's just so funny when you're cooking live, and I was trying like new recipes live, and it was failing and it was a mess, but I had so much fun and it was great engagement. So going live is definitely something that I implemented and helped with the business. I did some A/B testing of my website and my photos, so I optimized to optimize for conversion. So I had a couple of different photos that I wanted to see if it made a difference with conversion, and yellow seemed to be like that color, because yellow is one of those colors in the food industry that makes your palate satiate. So that was very helpful with learning how to do A/B testing. I built an engaged community, and this engaged community was through a Facebook group. And I didn't even realize what I was doing, that they became my focus group. And I would ask them questions, do you like this product? Do you like this flavor? So that was great, having a focused, engaged community. All of the businesses, I told them that, so this is my 4th point, was making sure you have a call to action and being more intentional with that call to action was something that I learned from CJ and Tamara. Is definitely, don't waste that post. Like, I've had a few reels that were 10,000 and 7,000, and I didn't give them a call to action. 10,000 views, 7,000 views, and I didn't give them a call to action at the end of it. So I'm much more intentional now, whether I want them to email me or if I want them to visit the website, buy this product, whatever it is, making sure that you're intentional with that call to action, because some of this stuff is evergreen, especially if you're posting it on Instagram or YouTube. It's evergreen content that people can find you, and you want to make sure that you have this call to action. The 5th thing I did, which was actually the first thing that I did, was working with Jamila and working on my brand messaging. But going beyond just the brand messaging, this year I saw that everybody, when they worked with Maria, they worked on their brand appearance. And I took note of that, and I created my little board that shows my fonts and my logos and my brand message. And it's been a great tool to have, because knowing my colors, I can just pull out this sheet of paper, and when I need to know what's that specific red, what's that specific brown, I can use that. So it's really important to work on your brand appearance, so that everywhere you go on the internet, people know that it's you. Because my competitor, I know that they're like bubblegum pink and sky blue. So when you see them, you know that that's not me, because that's not my color scheme, and that's not like my, the way they promote theirs is completely different from how I branded mine. The last two things that I implemented that came through my sessions with Michelle is, one, increasing my pricing, and two, creating a new product. So one thing that I encourage the business is to listen to your customer. They will tell you what they want. And then, so I was listening to my customers who were like, when our family gets this box, sometimes we decide who gets the cookies and who gets the marshmallows. And it made me realize that I needed to create a box for a family of 4. So that's my top 7 at 7, what an alum would do, what an alum did, how they implemented their digital marketing plan.
Oh man. So Trudy Ann, this top 7 was great. Yours was amazing. Chef was amazing. I know we're a little bit over time, but thank you so much for doing this. But please tell the people who you are, where they can connect with you. Tell them a little bit about your brand as well.
Sure. I'm Trudy Armand. I am the co-founder of Hermine. We are a self-care lifestyle box curated with products from women-owned businesses. And we started our business in loving memory of my aunt Hermine. And you can find us everywhere on social at My Hermine Box. And our website is her-mine.com.
Trudy Ann, thank you so much for doing this. We're getting one more note saying no more season finales. We'll have a season 3, guys. So Trudy Ann, I really appreciate that. This show was super important to me. Thank you for taking the time to really work with these businesses and just being a mentor across the board. They got a lot of great information, and we could not do this without you guys. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I mean, this was an amazing experience when we went through it, and we know how much goes into making these resources available. So absolutely, you only had to ask. Here I am.
Absolutely. Have a great night. We will talk very soon. Take care, Trudy.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Oh, all right, here we go. All right, guys. So we have gone way over, but this show was jam-packed with information because we had 2 mentors today and we had 2 top 7s, and they gave all the business, right? They went through this process last year. And so I think it was really great for them to connect with these businesses and really see themselves. Everybody was seeing themselves, the businesses saw themselves in them. They saw themselves in the businesses. They were able to tell them about their mistakes. They were able to tell them about what worked, what didn't work. They were really able to simplify things for them. And the other thing is that these 2 businesses saw amazing results when they pulled together their digital marketing plans and digital marketing strategies. And they're continuing to work and they're growing their businesses in ways that you couldn't imagine. So I really want to give a special shout out to Trudy Ann and to Chef. Chef, thank you so much for doing all the amazing videos. You really took some time creating those videos for us. And we're excited. We're actually going to run some of the things you said. There's such great reels. We're absolutely going to use it. So I know you'll be checking this out on the replay. Guys, if you one thing from today, you heard all these were the businesses. There were no experts here today. Well, they are digital marketing experts now, right? Our mentors, but these are small businesses, and this is the work that they're doing, and they talk to these other businesses about it. So if you hear one thing that you could take and implement for your business, we definitely want you to do that. Tonight was, again, really, really exciting for me. We're, all my businesses are growing up. But it is time for me to go. So we will be here next week, Thursday. It is going to be our season finale, but don't worry. Season 3 starts in August. We're just, making sure we get, another 3 sets of businesses to come on board. We're going to jump off season 3 in August. So the season finale is next week, and we'll be really talking to the businesses about how this worked for them, what worked, what didn't work, what they liked, what they hated, what overwhelmed them, just getting into everything. So I think next week is really going to be good. So join us next week for the season finale of the show. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Tamara Moon-Louis, founder of Monovan Digital Marketing Solutions, and our goal is to really help businesses navigate the digital landscape and achieve their business goals through digital marketing and leveraging digital. All right. Have a great night, guys. Take care. Bye.